On the last episode of Onboard Lifestyle, we sail north from Bahia Concepcion, and my dad lands a nice Dorado before investigating a mysterious shipwreck. The crew enjoys a few days on Isla San Marcos before heading towards Santa Rosalia.
It's the first time we've docked in 2 months. Everybody remember how?
Where we check in and then take care of some business.
First things first.
First tacos! Basik gets a good wash down with our first Tabasco of the season. And we settle into Santa Rosalia so Basik can get a few upgrades before we venture any further north.
When we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done. Oh, the good times just begun. Oh, we know what we have, let's hold on tight. Found what we're looking for in life. Call us crazy, but things are finally right. With you and I, the future is bright.
Now that Basik is at a dock, there's been a project that is definitely moving to the top of the priority list. Cruising in the Sea Cortez, dinghy wheels are very popular. It makes dragging your tender up the beach so much easier, and we have been belly aching about this for a while now.
I think I know what our next project is.
The dinghy wheels.
Yeah.
We're due. Now, the fun part. We lift the dinghy onto the dock.
Oh, you're getting it?
Starting to. Just gotta modify a few things on this boat to make it work. But what boat don't you modify to make it work?
Oh, come on. For once, I would like to have something that's just...
bolts on?
Yep.
Not gonna happen. It's gonna be a bigger project than I thought, but it's gonna be doable. You watch. It'll
Just
turn out.
modification.
That's right. Okay.
And it's a hot day.
Well, I'm starting to get in the shade. I got my fan though. This is saving me.
It's a lifesaver.
Okay, I need some tools. I need a Phillips.
Here you go.
Yep.
Gotta be so precise.
It won't line up if I don't. These are those quick disconnects. I gotta have it exact.
You're sure you got the angle right?
I'll know in a minute.
I don't really know why I asked. I'm sure you got it right.
I just guessed. It looked about 22 degrees, so. Okay, Mark, line that up for me. Line it up.
I tried, but you keep moving it.
Okay, there we go.
You ready to test fit that?
I think I got it. Look at this. I had to split the trim tab, take it off, cut a groove through it. And hopefully this clears it nicely. We'll see. Looks like it does, and look at that.
Now all we have to do is reattach that thing.
Let's see if it's going to work. I
See
need
if
to
it's
know.
going to work. Let's dry fit it before we work on the next one.
This is my test side. If it works,
It looks good though.
yeah, it does. Look at this. I had to put these spacers in here to get the right angle,
I figured that's what you were doing.
but we'll see how this works now. Okay. The thing I love about these Beachmasters, look at this. They're quick disconnect fittings.
Yeah, but do we want that to be the case?
I suppose not.
I mean,
I
they're nice wheels.
I guess I know, but if let's say we left the dinghy for a while, we could just pop them off, throw them inside.
Okay.
I think I will put an extra bolt on or a washer over one of these. That way you can't take them off.
No stealing.
Stealing is mean. There.
Manhandle those?
Sometimes you just gotta be rough. Lock them in. And look at that. Okay, this project is done. Let's take a look at how these turned out. I'm real happy with them. Got lots of clearance off the beach now, about a full foot right here. And you pull this lever right here, and the Beachmasters just fold right up into this position, lock in right there. Plenty of room for the outboard to pivot back and forth up here. I think we're gonna be happy with these. Look at that.
Bright and early. Ready for the bus ride. 2.5 hours to the airport. With Basic in a good place, Emma and I decided this was the perfect time for us to take a short trip back to the States to see family. My mom just had back surgery, so this was an opportunity for us to see her as she recovers. While we are there, we get to renew our visas and load up on boat supplies. Got our tickets, we are on the bus, and it's gonna be, probably another 3 hours before we get to Loretto.
Okay, with the girls up in the States, it gives me the perfect opportunity to work on our electrical system, do a little upgrade. I can't complain, it has been bulletproof so far. You know, we put in our Battleborn battery, lithiums, over a year now, full-time cruising, and backed up by our 1.1 kilowatt of solar, and using all Victron power management devices. And we have not had one hiccup. I cannot complain at all. But what I do want to do is upgrade the BMS. The BMS is, this is the standard BMS, and it does give me the information. You have to toggle through it. But what I want to do is go to a more intuitive display. It's going to be bold, touchscreen, color. It's going to be right in your face, so you can see at a glance without toggling through what's happening in your system. You know, originally 8 years ago, we put in 3 gas control, the Trident gas control panels, because we have 3 separate propane systems: one interior galley, one exterior galley, and one for the barbecue. Well, we're kind of phasing away from propane now. with our batteries. It is so easy just to cook all electric, and I have a feeling, you know, we'll probably still keep the oven and for broiling and baking, but we're going to go all electric interior and exterior, and we're using that more and more. And you know, pretty typical for us is we do all electric cooking now. We're running refrigeration 24 hours a day. We're running an inverter 24 hours a day to run Starlink, and all of our normal, you know, electrical uses. And I would say that with the 600 amp hour of batteries, we're only getting down to about 70% stated charge in the morning. And the solar just, boy, tops those off quickly. Those lithiums are just thirsty, and it's been working out real good for us. But my project today is we're going to be putting in the Servo GX. This is basically the brains for the system, and the Touch 50. And here's our new monitor. So what I'll be doing, and I've already started, is remove one of the gas control systems. These two are still active, but this was the barbecue that I had never hooked up. So that's where it's going to go. And eventually I would think that those two will fade away as well. I'm excited for this. So let's get into it.
Okay, we made it.
Yes.
3 hours later, we are now in Loretto.
So I just did a quick sketch of what I'll be doing today. The Servo GX, this device right here, this is the communication center for all of this to happen. So the Touch 50 plugs in with a supplied cable. Actually, there's two cables that plug right into it. I'll have to connect the MultiPlus with a 5-meter RJ45 cable. I've got that. I have to connect both of the MPPT solar controllers with 10-meter VE direct cables, and I've got 2 of those. From there, there's a supplied power cable that came with the unit right here. And I need to connect another VE direct to the original BMS, which is right here. That BMS will stay in line, which connects to our smart shunt and to our battery bank. So it looks like I have everything here. It's just a matter of routing cables and plugging it in. Couldn't be any simpler.
Okay, we had a great breakfast. Hung out at the restaurant a little too long because we really didn't want to go outside because it's so hot. And now we are taking the taxi to the airport where we can hang out. Hopefully there's AC.
Oh, well, there will be. I hope.
And yeah, so we timed it perfectly. We got quite a few more hours to go, but it's quite an adventure already.
Okay, I've folded down so we have access to all the wire harnesses. I'm thinking of mounting the servo right here. That gives me plenty of lead. You know, the unit's going to be right here. I can route the cables through here up into the wire harness and up over to it nice and clean. And all the other cabling goes down here into the other devices. I won't have to do anything in here besides hook up a power lead. This is our battery bank. This is after a year, and everything is just, God, looks like the day I put it in. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is run the 2 longest VE cables. They connect right at the bottom of the MPPT right here. These are 10 meters long. I want to make sure they're long enough, because if they're not, I don't know what I'll do. That, I guess I'll have to relocate my servo. But for now, I start here. Okay, both cables are in, and they've entered the wire chase right here. I'll pull them tight all the way to the nav station.
for it with a lot of time left over, so this will be fine. We will definitely not miss our flight.
I just ran the cables from the master closet down into the wire chase. It runs through here, under the stairs, into the master head, up through the wall, out a chase into the nav station. And here they are. Now it's just a matter of routing them through here, and the Serbo GX will mount right there. Hopefully these are long enough. Looks pretty tight, but I gotta pull a little bit further. Actually, I think there's some still. Yeah, there is. Good. Plenty long. Boy, that was a tight calculation though. I was within a meter. With the servo mounted, I ran my two cables in that came from the solar controllers. I put a little strap up here to connect it to. These don't lock in, they could slip out real easy, so I want to make sure I could tie those in to secure them. So now I just pop my Touch 50 in. I'm going to route this cable next, tuck it up in here, and up over to the servo.
Figured this would happen. Just got a notification from American Airlines that our flight is now delayed by 42 minutes. Fingers crossed that this is the only delay, because that only gives Emma and I about 40 minutes to make our connecting flight from Phoenix to Houston. So yeah, a little stressful. I was really hoping that nothing would be delayed, but that's just what happens.
Fans everywhere. It's keeping me comfortable. Right now, temperature's 90 degrees. Ooh, 80, no, back to 90. I was excited there for a second in the cabin. Refrigerator's staying cool though. Freezer's at 0, refrigerator's at 38. Glad it's comfortable. Wish I was. Because I'm over here in my workstation right now with a half a dozen fans. Just trying to keep me cool. My last steps to the install of the servo is run this RJ45 to the Multi-Plus. It's a 5-meter run through the wire harness, up into the forward crawl space, and over to the Multi-Plus. Next thing I have is running the last VE direct cable from the old BMS over to the servo. Then the final thing is the power cord. Run that power supply, and I will run that directly down to a power source. So I've got a couple things to do on this hot Santa Rosalia day. Got the shade up, but I'm excited to get this thing buttoned up. Short run, about 1 foot, clips the corner of this locker, gets over to the Multi-Plus. Whew. I thought it was hot out there. I'm dying in here. Just dripping.
Okay, looks like our plane finally arrived, so hopefully they can do a quick cleanup, fuel up, and then we are so out of here. Been here for like 3 hours. Tired.
I just ran my new lead. Here it is right here. Goes up into the Multi-Plus. I powered it down, took the cover off, and just plugged it in. put the cover back on, fired it back up. So that's one more connection down.
Okay, we are minutes away from missing our flight, so let's hope there's nobody around.
Well, the last two connections are pretty straightforward. I had a 1 meter VE direct cable, routed it in up to the servo, and then connected the power lead straight over to a hot in the back of the board, a constant. This thing is all hooked up and ready to go. I have put cable ties on all the wires so nothing's moving. It's time to fire this thing up. Well, it's late in the day and everything is hooked up. It's time to fire this puppy up and see what kind of information it gives us. The girls should be landing in Houston in a few minutes, I think. Okay, here's our old BMS and our new. Wow. Okay, so if we were plugged into shore, it would show an AC input. We're not plugged in, but we're still charging a little bit of solar, but battery state of charge is at 96%. We're inverting and using 63 watts of AC right now. So at a glimpse, I get all this information. I love it. I absolutely love it.
We have finally made it! Yahoo! Time for us to find our ride and get the heck out of here. It's been a long day. I cannot wait to go home, grab some food, fall asleep.
Let's see. Oh, this is cool. Could turn off and on devices from here. There, I just turned off my inverter. Let's see what that looks like. Go back to pages. Yep, inverter's off. Let's kick that back on. Menu. Switch. Inverter. Let's click it on. There's green and inverting. There we go. Looks like everything's running pretty smoothly. Hope the girls had a good day.
Thanks for watching this week's episode of Onboard Lifestyle. If you like our videos, give us a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. A special thanks goes out to our amazing patrons whose support makes these videos possible. Join our crew if you can. It looks like my dad is staying busy while we visit family. Come back next week to see what we're up to. See you then!